All right, everybody, we are back for the semifinals, just in time to see Scissors Lizard take down yet another match. Um, we are now into the semifinals, like I said. We have Brett Rose on the left playing Green-White Tokens, who we saw in, I believe, the second round tonight, playing against Vince Smith, who we saw at some point earlier tonight as well, playing Blue-Red Delver. I'm going to go adjust the camera real quick. So which side is... All right. Disaster averted. And by disaster, I mean a very minuscule, almost unnoticeable change made. Were you here the week that we talked about where we had the very critical discussion about what basic lands you use in your deck?
Yes.
Did you chime in on that?
No, I didn't chime in on that one. I remember a lot of the discussion was around the ugly lands that I think it was Brett was using.
Yeah, Brett in his legacy deck, he plays white bordered lands.
Like 4th edition lands.
Well, none of them match. That's the key.
Yeah.
Um,
And he does that to throw his opponent off of their game.
Yeah, he's just a complete griefer. He just wants to be a jerk, which is fine. Turn one, turn one we didn't see anything out of Brett, but turn two, pretty eventful turn, put abundant growth on his Volve, the Archangel, and then played Bird of Paradise. So he can go hero here if he has a land. And then Vince went with a turn two. Vince is playing kind of an older list with Runechanter's Pike, Invisible Stalker combination.
Yeah.
So,
might see these kind of Delver lists show up again early when Return to Ravnica comes out.
well, that's the thing that always seems to happen, and it does for a reason. You know, the old cliche about, you know, in an unknown format, you want to be the proactive deck, and this is very proactive. I mean, it has a lot of reach. It has a lot of...
It's going to have better mana, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the biggest complaints about the blue-red deck, is you get to play... You get 4 duels and 2 evolving wilds or whatever, and try to make do with it.
Yeah.
So Vince draws first blood.
It's also a deck that can very easily play Bonfire of the Damned, which is always a plus.
Oh, and the good ones do. I mean, you look at the deck that Christian Calcano won the Grand Prix with. That was basically just because he would sideboard into a control deck every time with Bonfires. So Vince is going to be in a real situation here. Oh. No, he's still... What happened there? He cast Lingering Souls, which was mana leaked, and then he cast a bird. Mana leak's good. I mean, it keeps things from getting out of control, but that shrine is already up to 4. It's going to go up to 6 next turn when he flashes back Lingering Souls.
If he gets an intangible, or he's got an intangible virtue out there, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So he's going to chump out the Stromkirk to keep it from leveling up. Because it is right now, he can eat it with his tokens. He'll just take 1, drop to 18. Every land comes into play. And that's a huge deal because, like, no, it's not, because he'll flash back the souls now, and he can pay for mana leak. Vince might mana leak anyway, just to keep him off the activation.
Yeah, I mean that essentially buys him a turn.
Mm-hmm. See, as it is right now, I don't think... I mean, I'm trying to think of a scenario in which Hunter can come back from... I know, it's tough. Like, the worst...
Dominic kept a one-man hand, and it was a plains.
Oh, in his semifinal match?
Yeah, against zombies.
So he's going to lose?
Yeah.
Zombies is stuck at 2, but he has 2 Diagram Captains and Charles Messenger in hand.
2 mana will cast like 50% of his deck, so...
Yeah. Well, 1 will cast almost all his deck except for the Messengers. He's playing a lot of 3s. He's playing Messengers, Captains,
Okay.
and
So he gets in there. If I remember this,
His own deck's not.
hey now,
I would think.
this match, we gotta focus on this match. So he does pop the shrine. He uses that mirror token. I don't like that one. It's too scary. So he has 6. I don't know why I laugh, but it's just funny where he's like, "This is happening." So he's got 6 mirror and 2 lingering souls.
If I was Vince, I'd try to block with my lands.
I would try to block him.
See what happens.
He's activating the Volt. That's I know how Vince doesn't have. He's not playing bonfires, so I don't think he is. I think he put this deck together right before he started. I would imagine it. Of all the cards that are hard to get. Want to try again? Words don't fail me. Of all the cards to try and put together last minute, Bonfire of the Damned probably on the bottom of the availability list.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like everyone that got them, no one would ever trade theirs, and then it shot up like a bullet, and now you pretty much just can't get a hold of them.
Unless you want to drop like $200.
They're going for more than that on eBay.
They're going for $500 each. I just checked.
Oh, sweet. Now's a good time to sell.
Well, I mean,
I'm still not convinced.
I had some, and we all have these shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but I had some. I got the first Bonfire of the Damned that I ever owned was on release night in a draft. Second pack, it was passed to me.
No.
Yeah. Now this was before everyone knew how great it was.
Yeah,
it was obviously a good card. But when I got it, I thought even I'm not bad enough to pass this card. But it was pretty funny. But then I acquired a few more. But then I just traded them off. I didn't trade them off. I sold them off. I made a good profit, but but you can always make more.
My problem with it is I'm convinced it's a $20 card. I don't think it's better than a $20 card.
It's not going to go down any because red is just going to be more playable. We were talking earlier. You lose all of your sweepers.
That'll be so easy to splash.
It's going to be the main sweeper, and it's cost 1 red. At like all times.
So that's your hot financial tip. That's a strong hold on Bonfire of the Damned. Having worked as faithful viewers from weeks past will know, if they watched last week, I spent Saturday working at a booth at the Pro Tour qualifier in Columbus, and I will tell you that we were paying 33 cash on bonfires, and we bought several. I mean, as a Magic player, and then most of those guys are like, I don't know, they're like 1 foot out of high school, you know.
Yeah.
If you have a piece of cardboard that's worth $33,
you're just gonna drop it off.
That's the biggest thing. I think people are like, a lot of people don't go to like PTQs and stuff like that because they're like, or Pro Tours or Grand Prix or whatever. Because you can't get a Pro Tours now, but like, I don't want to play in the event. I'm not good enough, whatever. Well, I'm not good enough either, but I still go the heck out of all of them I get to because there's so much. Selling cards to dealers is a huge deal, and side events and stuff like that. Pretty interesting. They had 300 people for that Pro Tour qualifier. It was a M13 sealed event.
Decent turnout.
I saw one pool as I was working the room. One pool that had not one but 2 Thragtusks in it. Oh. So I hope that guy did well.
Yeah, I feel like
and there was another guy who came out later at the end of the evening and sold me his deck at the booth. He thinks, I'm keeping it honest there. I have the right to buy. But he had a Thundermaw Hellkite in his sideboard. So, it happens, I guess.
Not have enough red to make it main?
He may not have had enough sense to come in out of the rain. That's probably what the problem was. How many cards do you need? How many good enough red cards do you need to...
Not many.
I don't know. Just 2 mountains is probably good enough. You know? Yeah. I'd find a way because that card will literally just win the game by itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In one of those at the Players Championship this year, well, in the M13 draft portion of it, I watched one of the matches. I forget who it was, but they had a Thunder Maul, and you just win the game by itself.
Not a whole lot of cards that'll stop it.
think you gotta play the Delver here.
So what has he got? He has Flames in the Firebrand. He has Rune Chanter's Pike. He has an Invisible Stalker. You play the Delver, I think, because you can play...
He does know what the next card is.
Yeah, he pondered, so...
And it was a bust.
I don't really understand that sequence of plays. Unless he's trying to... No, there's no. I don't think there's any way that's right. Yeah. Because he doesn't have another land. I guess maybe that was it, because if he had the... Well, let's see. Pike... So now we get Lingering Souls.
Delver would have flipped.
Oh, timely. So, instead of having to change Brett's life total to 19 because I missed it, I just changed it to 25.
24.
24.
That was my bad math. I apologize. I didn't say that. In my mind, Tomlin gave him.
I have a 4-year engineering degree, Bachelor's of Science. I just added 5 to 19 and got 25. That's what a state school will do to you, kids.
He milled away his 2 lands that he needed.
I'm curious to see what. So I don't really know what's in. I don't really know what Vince's deck list is. I'm sure that Flames of the Firebrand is a sideboard card, but I really don't know. Like these pillars, like are those main? I don't know.
I think the pillars are probably main. I would main them.
Pillars are really good.
Flames of the Firebrand does seem like a sideboard card, though.
I don't really think it's that good. When you just play Arc Trail? Well, Arc Trail costs 2.
I mean, Flames of the Firebrand, like if he could have cast there, he could have swept the timely tokens away, but I don't think...
Most of the time, then it's not going to be good enough because his tokens are often 2/2s, like right now.
Yeah.
That Flames of the Firebrand is almost... Well, it's not dead, but it's a very inefficient.
Yeah, and I don't think that one narrow situation justifies playing it over Arc Trail.
That Stalker's getting pretty big.
Yeah. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we've seen this before out of Brett's deck. Like, his deck is so explosive. Like, there's just a point where it reaches enough mana and enough enablers that it just wins in one foul swoop.
Because he can just be like,
He's done it. He's done it 2 weeks in a row, and he's done it earlier tonight. Yeah, Elspeth would be very good. Actually, I don't know how good Elspeth is, because I just realized that you don't get to play Elspeth and then immediately ultimate it. You do have to wait a turn. So, he's going to Growth and Dig. And Growth is an interesting card in this deck. I'm not a huge fan of it, but as mana greedy as his deck is in terms of color commitments, he has a Garrick in his hand. That's useless, right? I mean, Garrick might just eat. It might eat.
Bam.
I think I would probably sacrifice and go with a creature like a Drag Test.
Oh, he's got to flip it to do that, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's the black side.
That's what we do when there's a wolf. Because it's a wolf. Earlier, did you know way out of the room that your turtle made an appearance on this live stream? Yep, he didn't care for it. And then I felt really bad because I was dispossessing your turtle. He was just trying to hang out over there. He was just trying to exist and not be...
He's sleepy. I think he is really tired.
Man, he's had a rough day.
Yeah. He's been sitting around all day.
I always joke about my dogs. They've had a rough day of laying around and doing nothing.
I thought my dog literally is awake for maybe 4 hours.
So Garrick in that case was basically just like, what's that one card? Angel's Blessing or Angel's Mercy, gain 7 life.
Yeah.
But it also brought a wolf token, so Brett has 5 power on board. Snapcast back the Vapor Snag. I don't like that. Like, doesn't the Vapor Snag do the exact same thing?
Yeah.
But do 1 damage?
He didn't have the blue mana.
Oh. Good idea. Timely? Oh, Virtue.
5 or 4 or 5.
Double Lingering Souls.
He tapped 2 for
Oh, an intangible virtue.
2.
So it's only 2, 3, 3 flyers. That's not exciting.
Well, but I mean, this is like
His turn.
this is a race situation. Like I can't. Brett is at 18.
Yeah, I feel like this is definitely Brett's game to lose. He's really blue hungry, unless he draws an iron here.
It seems to me like I've missed an attack, or did I not because of the time late? Because that Garrick was like pretty beneficial in the sense that it made. I don't think I would have attacked the Garrick honestly, because Brett has no way of interacting with the Stalker, so it's just a race. So I would just get after it.
because Garrett can't fight the Stalker. The Wolves can't block the Stalker.
Well, he has like a pike in hand,
They can't equip it.
but he can't play it.
But you should cast it now and then try and kill him next turn.
Yeah. So then he'll be swinging for like
1,
13 or 15
2,
or something.
3. Well, he only has 3, 4, so that's 4 damage down to 14. Yeah, he only has 3 because he flashed back the. And now that flames.
Swinging for 10.
And now that flames of the firebrand is useless.
Kill 1.
It kills 1 lingering soul token at sorcery speed. He has to tap out to do it.
Yeah.
Does he have a snag in his hand? Is he just representing snag?
He needs a land. He needs a land because then he can play Snapcaster Snag.
Oh, he's needed a land since the first turn he missed the drop because that's what kind of screwed him on this whole plan is because he didn't have a turn where he could cast and equip the pike. So.
He's swinging for 10 right now.
Yep. And for like no value.
Yeah, because they all have vigilance, so there's really no point. Like, why would he just not swing?
I don't know. Maybe.
Draw combat swing. Unless he's got. This would make me worry that he has something that he can do to pump up his tokens. Like he's gonna drop a cavity or something.
Like that one?
Well, yeah,
Another. Okay.
and now he can flashback souls, get 4 spirit tokens, and this game is pretty much done.
Well, like Vince literally has to kill him this turn, right?
Yeah, which.
That's 10. Yeah,
I mean, he needs to equip that second pike and somehow get a bunch more incidents in his grade.
Like a perfect thought scour, maybe?
Yeah.
He needs to get 3 in there.
Alright, well, there's a pawn.
He has to find a land, right? Oh, there's no land. There's no land in there.
I guess he could
He
shuffle.
doesn't need the
He needs the land to cast the flames of the firebrand because he doesn't have another blue. He doesn't have another instant.
but then
It has to be. This card has to be a like Pillar of Flame, or it has to be a blue.
it has to be it has to be something for Phyrexia because he has to have the.
Oh,
land
because he
equipped.
can't equip it.
Yeah.
He has to equip the second pike.
Every point, I know you've only been in here a little, Brandon, but there's some point in the night where I just forget the rules of Magic, so that's not going to do it.
He has a thought scour though.
Can't cast it.
No, he doesn't have. So basically, he equips and swings and then shakes hands.
Yeah, hope that Brett concedes.
I mean, you can't do anything. You have to equip. You swing. And you shake hands. Like that's how you do. Unless the life totals are wrong.
1, 2,
Is that going to be a 9-point
3,
swing?
4.
Yeah, should be.
Brett Rose. There's something about Brett Rose in that deck. He finds a way.
Brett, I think, just plays decks that he knows he's really, really good at playing.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that deck. It's perfectly fine. Like, there are some matchups that are going... I mean, decks that have Bonfire, decks that are too fast. He has a tough time with zombies.
Yeah.
He's just not fast enough. But all these decks that give him half a chance...
If you're not going to beat him in the first 6 turns, he's going to make you pay for it.
And he's showing you he sides out the heroes and 1 paralyzed. Basically, just tries to make his deck quicker. Be interesting to see what he brings in. So, he brings in that Phyrexian. Oh, he has 2 of them. Nice. That can't be right. But I guess it's a good answer to
It's entertaining, though.
he brings in Hauntings.
And
I like
Hauntings
Haunting.
are main.
Yeah. In that deck you can because you're paralyzed. Like, it's fine. Plus, you're not doing anything early.
Yeah, so
He doesn't
chances
cast-
are you're going to be behind.
He doesn't cast a proactive card till turn 3.
It should always be behind.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Brett Rose. You are a semifinal. Goosebumps. My favorite bird. I don't know. Brandon just opened the door and everyone stared at us.
I was just trying to look at Jonathan to see if he won.
Mm.
He looked happy, so I feel like it might be 1-1. I'll do it again. Slower.
I would say that Jonathan's usual demeanor is indifferent. So if he looked happy,
What?
no. There was no joke. He just opened the door, and then there was this awkward moment where everyone was looking at us.
Turned.
We have a turtle in here,
Yeah, we
so step off. So one more round to go. It is now 11 o'clock in the p.m. We have Brett Rose in the finals. He will be playing the winner of Alec Myers versus Jonathan Wright.
Yes.
Mono Black Zombies versus Blue White Midrange.
Yep.
To see if, once again, a Wright brother can win this thing, or at least make it to the finals.
That never happens.
Last week it was Scotty. Scotty's not here, so Jonathan is carrying the banner for him. The first time we ever televised this, and when I say televised, I mean put on the internet, because there's no television actually involved. The Wright brothers both made it to the top, the finals.
Not
For the
uncommon.
longest match I've ever witnessed. It may have just felt like the longest match because it started after midnight and didn't end until 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it's bound to happen at some point. Have we talked about literally everything?
I think we may have. We even played the Izzet versus Golgari decks.
Mm-hmm.
He
You
did not
won.
have Flames of the Firebrand in his hand.
What card was
It was
that?
Smelt
Smelt's better.
for the
Okay.
Boil Shrine.
Feel better. I mean, although Flames from Firebrand might be a card he
Yeah,
would
I
play.
asked him, I was like, so why was that sideboard? He was like, what are you talking about?
Okay. Well, I saw him siding them out. I saw them like piling them out. So it smells very good because it blows up the shrine.
Oh, did you show my turtle like this when you went to this little screen?
Brandon, are you playing in States?
I am playing
States will be October 13th. But more importantly,
green-white.
not only will
Green-white.
not only will our states be October 13th, but everyone's states will be that weekend. It's 13th or 14th.
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday.
Green-white with
We will be in
4
Beckley.
Knights of Glory in the sideboard.
We will be in Beckley
Straight predator.
at the Beckley Convention Center, Room C, just in case you wanted to know.
So it's not the Lost Legion Stone?
No, because there's going to be like over 100 people.
See, and that's what I thought, and then because that store's not that big.
No. So you're exactly right. It will not. Actually, none of the 4 Lost Legion locations will house a 150 plus player tournament. So, although I think there's going to be a little bit less people because
Why isn't it in Charleston?
here's exactly why it's not in Charleston. Usually, that event is run by Star City Games because of the proximity. For those who are not familiar, Star City Games is based in Roanoke, Virginia, which is like 3.5 hours from here.
It's only
They
about
normally
2 hours from Beckley, right?
not even, probably an hour and a half.
Yeah.
They normally do the event, but this year they decided not to do it for whatever reason. I mean, they've got a million things on their plate anyway.
Yeah.
So they've deferred to the ownership of Lost Legion, which is based in the owner is based in Beckley. But they did so with
HM.
like literally 2 months before the event. So that's basically why, is that it's hard to secure a venue for a 150 plus person tournament 2 months beforehand. They looked into a variety of different locations, all the way from like Tays Valley to Flatwoods, and it just, things weren't economically correct or not available.
I feel like there's a big portion of the gaming community in West Virginia is in Parkersburg and Morgantown, and that is like 5 hours away
well,
from Beckley.
That is, but at the same time, that if we had it in Morgantown, it would be the same thing.
I just feel like it needed to be in like Charleston.
Well, and it will be in the future years. I mean, this is, as I understand, it's a permanent transition. So it should be run by Lost Legion in the future, and they will have it in Charleston because it makes geographic sense. I mean, it's 3 interstates run through here. It's the capital. It's the close and the biggest population of people who play Magic are in the Huntington, Charleston metro area. And there's a lot of players in Morgantown, but I mean, there's
the same distance from Beckley and Morgantown.
Yes.
They meet.
It's 2.5 hours to Morgantown. It's an hour and a half to Beckley.
So do you think some of the players from like Morgantown might?
They are coming.
They'll come. They'll still come.
They're coming.
But I think there will be some casual players that won't come.
I
I think the people who will most likely not come are the people who are local actually to here that will not that would play because it's conveniently located in Charleston, but they're not going to drive all the way down. I think you're going to lose a lot of casuals. Last year, I think they had just under 150 in the tournament. Does that sound right? Did you play last year? It was over 100. This year, I estimate probably right around 100 be there. Possibly less, but I'm hoping more for the sake of the shop.
Yeah, I remember that one year. I mean, there's always good at turnout, except one year they had it in December for some reason, and there was a huge snowstorm, and like there were only like 60 people.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, that's a good way to win state championship is just go to an event when no one else is there. But you can, like I said, all the state tournaments are going to be on the 13th and 14th that weekend. For more information on any of those events, go to, it's hard to see there because I'm bad at this, but sleeveup.com. I don't know why it's sleeveup.com, but if you go there, that will give you links to all of the coordinators, all the coordinators for all the different events. So regardless of what state you're in or district, they also have provincials for Canada, don't they? So there's a tournament you can play in. It's competitive, but it's also casual. It's not like a super exclusive event. So definitely check it out if you can. And if you're within 2 or 3 or 4 hours drive of Charleston, might as well play in West Virginia's. I will tell you this: the event will be less, it'll be more sparsely attended, and you'll have a better chance of winning this event than you probably will, say, Ohio or Virginia or Pennsylvania. So, if winning is all that matters to you, if all you're concerned about is being plus EV, then it's probably worth the gas money and the ride down. I don't know. Vince, we thought you had flames of the firebrand in your hand.
No.
There was a smell.
Yep.
But he tricked you by not playing.
He still had him in there.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, because...
Did he play that in the last game?
Yeah, the Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He played it game 1, and then he sided out some stuff, which I was thinking that he could have maybe sided it out, but I just put in the smoke anyway.
When he laid out the cards that he was siding out, I thought, taking the heroes out makes sense because he's trying to speed his deck up because you're pretty fast. But then he brought in 2 6-cost removal spells that you can vapor snag the tokens on.
Oh.
The Phyrexian Rebirth.
Oh, yeah.
We laugh about that card now, but in the game he played in his other future match, he just racked Jeremy Bales with it. He cleared the board, and because it had paralyzed out, he got 2 5/5s. So, and then he had a Volt out, and an emblem from Soren. So, they're out there talking about Magic. I'm going to go see if they're playing the finals, and if they are, we will bring it to you, and if not, we will do a brief wrap-up.